Hello everyone. I'm very happy that you tune in, choose to learn something new. And again, we are close to heart matters. Two things I know most people like: playing games and sugar. So we all like many things. What about with the things we don't like? For example, me. I don't like shopping. Many people don't like learning. Some might not want to do sports. Or somebody doesn't like homework. Well, what if I could go shopping with my favorite pop star? This is my favorite pop star. I would like to, or I enjoy anything if I could spend time with her. So, think about, would it be okay for you to go shopping with one of the GOT7 superstars? Or would you even enjoy learning if it was in my class? So, I give you an example. I like to shop when it's for my girlfriend. And here I give you the rule when we use like to do something, or that comes below now. Read these two sentences. I like to shop when it's for my girlfriend. I love shopping. We say the lower one if it is in general. If I like it, whether it's hot, cold, alone, together with my girlfriend, or at the market, at the shopping mall. In general, I like shopping. I like to shop when I have a special situation or a special way I enjoy a certain thing. Let's give it some more examples. Sorry, superstar, to delete you. So, I erase the special situation and I give you another one. Could you think of what you only enjoy when it's hot? Oh, my drawing skills are awesome. That is an ice cream cone. I like to eat ice cream when it's hot. As opposed to, that is not the opposite, but when somebody says, I love eating ice cream, it doesn't matter if the weather is hot or cold. This person here loves it anyhow. So I read it again. Try to read it yourselves. I like to eat ice cream when it's hot, and only when it's hot. I love eating ice cream in general, every day, any day. Another example. On Father's Day, what do you think? What am I talking about? What would some people or somebody only like because it's Father's Day? There is a recent project about Father's Day. Very well, I like to cycle or go on a bicycle. So, two people, let's give them some names so to make it easier. This is Bert. Bert loves cycling, and Tessa. Tessa likes to cycle on Father's Day. So we have Bert, who is on his bike every day. He loves being on his bicycle. He loves cycling. And opposed to Tessa, who only enjoys it, who only is happy to ride a bike on one day of the year. So, to make it easy to understand, only, and again, in general. Does it make sense? Do you want another example? Can you think of one? I'll give you one more. Many students don't like homework at all. Some of them, however, they really like to do homework. On a computer. You could make it more special and stress that they only like to do homework on a computer when you add when done or doing it. When doing it on a computer. And just make it in general, Bert hates homework. So far for this section. Did you get it? Okay. I will elicit some other structure with exactly using these gerunds as well. So here we have a flower pot with a happy flower in it? No. What do you need to do to that flower? It becomes a happy flower again. Did you pay attention what I said? What do you need to do? It doesn't want only water. No, it is more important than just, I want water, I'm a little bit thirsty. No, if you don't give that little flower water very, very soon, it will die. So it is more important than just, I want water or an iPhone 6. It needs water. It needs watering. Have you heard that before? It's correct. The flower needs watering. So I'll give you a few examples. If we have, what is this here? This is not a design that should be stains, yeah? So it is a t-shirt, and what does it need? It needs cleaning. So that was only the verb like and love. Now we have many, many verbs which have certain rules to it. So I'll write some down. We have love and like. And we have would like. The opposite of love is hate. Softer than hate. If you just want to say you don't like it, but avoid the not, we can say can't stand or can't bear. This is a verb, so don't think that it is an animal attacking you. I will write a few other verbs here. Do I need to explain any of these verbs? Do you know what mind means? If you want to ask for permission, and we fear that somebody else might be uneasy or worried too much, then we can ask, do you mind if I? Do you mind if I go and have a short break? Do you mind if I make myself a cup of coffee? Do you mind if I go home now? So that was just explained mind. The other words are quite easy, yeah? And now I'll draw some lines, and it suddenly becomes more clear. When you use the verb dislike or enjoy or mind, you always have to use an ing form afterwards. So, I enjoy being in the theater. I enjoy teaching. I enjoy riding my bike. I enjoy eating ice cream. Enjoy is always followed by ing words. I dislike coming late. I dislike painting walls. However, on the other side, would like to, I said it already, is always followed by to plus an infinitive. Yeah, I make this short. Would you like to go to the cinema? And it's always a question for permission or an offer. I would like to go out now. That is asking for permission. Would you like to go out is the proposal. So, and here we already talked about love and like. You can use both. And now we have to look closer at these verbs here, because sometimes, depending on what verb is behind, they change a little bit the meaning. Not too much, don't worry, but I'll give you some example sentences. I can be here and here as well. That's why it is in the middle. And I'll give you the example with try. Okay, different word after try. Okay? So we have the same word, try, and one is followed by the infinitive, to get, and the other one is followed by a gerund, or an ing form. Try to feel what it means. Peter tries to get Maria's attention. Meaning Maria is somewhere and Peter is trying for her to look at him. Whether they are in a meeting and he doesn't want to call out her name, or somehow he's trying to get in contact to her. However, Gabriel tries calling Maria. Maybe she knows. So there's a slight difference in meaning. We have here the attempt. He makes an attempt. We can use make attempt for that. So he has just thought that he wants to talk to her, and he tries it out for the first time. If she will not look at him, he will do something else. However, here it is an experiment. To take an experiment. It is not difficult to call her. It's not that he can't see the numbers right. No. The meaning is that we don't know if the reason why we call her will be a successful story. Maybe she doesn't even know, but let's try calling her to take an experiment. Do you see the difference? Well, I will try to hit something with the pen. Let me try. Or I will, what should I use to try to hit that? Let's try using a pen. So there's a little small difference between those. I have a few more other words for you. Peter will never forget spending And what? They are super pens, they are very expensive, okay? Peter will never forget spending that much money on a pair of pens. Please note, forget is the verb followed by an ing, yeah? So we talk about the meaning of forget as opposed to again, please look at this verb and feel what it can mean. Peter will never forget spending that much money on a pair of pants. Don't forget to spend the money on your tickets. Again, I feel that this is kind of a direct speech. And now, do you see about what part or the one who hears the sentence is supposed to act in the future or in the past? Just think of yourself, does Peter have the pants? Yes, Peter owns this pants. So this is a sentence about the past. He has this pants and he will never forget spending that much money. But if you use forget with a gerund afterwards, it suddenly becomes important for the future. He still has the money. His mother is giving him the money. And he should not do anything else but spend it on the train tickets or any kind of tickets. So we see that the verb followed by an ing or a gerund can change slightly in meaning. But don't be too confused. You will learn how to feel the differences. Now we do an exercise. I have prepared a little exercise for you, and if everything works out fine, you should also be able to do that right now below, hopefully. Let's see. So, verbs followed by ing or infinitive. Here's a multiple choice. With multiple choice question, it is up to you how much you learn. You can just guess and not learn anything, or you can try to think. Okay. Can you remember what I taught about try? I was very tired. I tried, and there's a typo there. I will change that, but for now it has to stay there. To keep my eyes open, but I couldn't. Or should it say, I tried keeping my eyes open, but I couldn't. Think about it for a second. I tried to read it with both choices, yeah? I tried to keep my eyes open, but I couldn't. I tried keeping my eyes open, but I couldn't. Remember what I told you before. We have try, attempt, and try, experiment. If somebody does an experiment, they haven't done it before, yeah? I told you before I wanted to hit something over there, and what should I take to hit it? Oh, I'm trying this, yeah? I try hitting it with a chair or a pen. So, this is the experiment, and this is to continue. So, which one of these two is it? Do you think somebody has to experiment to to keep their eyes open? No, it's not an experiment. It is an attempt. She gives her best to keep her eyes open, but it just wouldn't work. So, what's the right choice? The first one. Let's go to the next one. I rang the doorbell, but there was no answer. Then I tried on the door, but there was no answer. Is this try to knock an attempt, or is tried knocking an experiment? Is it difficult to knock the door? I tried to knock the door and I didn't hit it. I didn't hit it again. Is it an attempt or an experiment? So everybody can hit the door properly. So you don't need to attempt knocking a door. It's easy to knock a door. But we don't know if our intention will have the expected outcome. So we don't know if the door will be opened or not. Do you know now what to choose? I rang the doorbell, but there was no answer. Then I tried knocking on the door, but there was no answer. Next one. Always think about, is it an attempt or is it an experiment? Do they experiment putting or do they make an attempt? Remember, it is always my example. If you are at a booth on a market where you have 3 balls and you have 3 attempts, yeah? Those 3 balls, each is 1 attempt to hit a goal or a target. So that's an attempt. Everybody can understand, yeah? If you pay 10 baht and you get 3 attempts. So, is it an experiment to put fire out? We tried the fire out, but without success. We had to call the fire brigade. An experiment would mean, we tried to extinguish the fire with Coca-Cola, and it didn't work. Well, let's try water. No, that's not an experiment. Everybody knows that we extinguish fires with water, so we don't need an experiment. We need an attempt. You know the choice. Next, please. Before I read this, I quickly want to explain borrow. Do you know the opposite of borrow? Borrow is a verb, and the opposite of borrow is lend. If I don't have enough money, I need to borrow some money of anybody. If I have a lot of money and you don't have enough, then I will lend you some. So the definition of borrow is take temporarily. Not take forever, but take for some time to give it back. And the definition of lend is to give temporarily. Always the subject is the active part. So if I borrow money or if I lend money. Sue needed to borrow some money. She tried Gary, but he was short of money too. Very beautiful sentence here. If you are short of money, it means that you still have some money, but you need all that money for going home to buy your dinner or to buy the stuff you need to do your homework. So if you are short of money, then you don't have enough to give it somebody else. So what we need to ask or to think here, has Sue ever asked anybody else before, or does she need to try to ask? She can't ask. No, that's not the problem. Everybody can make a question easily. So she tried asking Jerry. That's a choice here because it is an experiment. She was not sure if he had enough money. Do you know that verb, reach? Reach. If you try to get to something. I tried the shelf, but I wasn't tall enough. So, is it an attempt or an experiment? Think a moment. And please, if you don't show that, but I have to look up because I think we can say both. And it, just a minute. Okay. I just said you can figure out the answer yourself. Here it is, I tried to reach. So it is an attempt. Maybe sometimes she has already gotten there, or with some other bigger stuff she can reach it, but it's not an experiment. So I tried to reach herself, but I wasn't tall enough. Next, please, is please leave me alone. I'm trying. Is it an attempt or is it an experiment? If it was an experiment, it isn't. If it was an experiment, then the one who's speaking had never tried to focus before. Everybody, even if you don't like it very much, but everybody has focused on something before, yeah? To look very closely for some time in order to understand, to focus. Focus is used in a camera, yeah, to focus something, so we can see it sharp. If our mind is focused on something, we can get the information easily because we are not distracted. Please say distracted. Very good. Okay, please leave me alone. I'm trying. I don't say that one. Next one. Now we change from try to need. I need a change. I need away for a while. So the way we see the difference here is if you use infinitive, it is for yourself. To feel better. In this case, I need to go away for a while to feel better, to make my life more healthy. Remember the plant before? It needs watering or it needs caring. So whenever the mentioned thing is to be served or to be dealt with, we have gerund after need. So this example is very nice for somebody else's help needed. So my grandmother isn't able to look after herself anymore. She needs looking after. May I quickly just mention this pronoun here, herself? when the subject matches the object, we use a self-reflexive pronoun. I repeat, my grandmother isn't able to look after herself anymore. She needs looking after. The looking after doesn't mean that you do something from the back or behind. Look after someone means to take care of someone. If many parents buy their kids a pet, so they learn how to look after their pet. Looking after a pet creates responsibility, and you learn. You grow up by taking care of a pet. Next. The windows are dirty. They need Can the windows clean themselves? If they could, then it would say they need to clean themselves. But the windows can't clean themselves. So they need cleaning. They can't do it themselves. Somebody else needs to do it for them. And here these two belong together, and here you can see that if somebody does it themselves, you use to iron. You don't need to iron that shirt. That shirt is wrinkled. Wrinkled is a wrinkle, yeah? A wrinkle. A wrinkle. Wrinkled is an adjective, yeah? I am handsome. Handsome is an adjective. Followed many times we use adjectives after the verb to be. So that shirt is wrinkled. It needs, you know it. If I set this up correctly, you should be able to submit your work and instantly get feedback on how many points you got. Let's see. High hopes. See you soon.